Marhaba, and welcome to the Matrix Green Pill, where real people connect.
Hello and welcome back to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. I'm Hilmarie Hutchison, and today I am thrilled to introduce a remarkable guest who embodies resilience, wisdom, and empowerment. She's an acclaimed executive producer, international success coach, and speaker with a mission to guide 1 million individuals on a transformative journey. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Sussi Mattsson to the show. Welcome, Sussi. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Let's begin by learning a little bit about you and your background.
My background is that I grew up really poor in a small little town down in southern of Sweden. My parents got divorced. Then my mom got sick in cancer and died when I was 8 years old. After that, my dad got custody. I had to move to his apartment with his new wife, who was pregnant at the time. And he was super abusive and didn't treat me very well. After 6 months living with him, I found out that he had bought me one-way airline ticket to take me abroad down to Southern Europe. Also, he had made me a false passport. So he was about to sell me his own daughter, and I was only 8 years old. To save myself boarding that plane straight to hell, I ran away from home when I was 8. We had to move fast forward to today, where I'm working with how we can heal past traumas, how we can create more happy people, and have coaching clients and speaking engagements around the world.
Wow. I've had many guests on the show. We're heading for 200 recordings. I have never heard a story like this. My goodness. First of all, sorry that you lost your mother at such a young age.
Thank you.
That must have been incredibly difficult. I can't believe your father was about to sell you at 8 years old. That is just unbelievable. Then you went through a journey to where you are today.
Yes. I think the whole thing is looking back from adult perspective. I can clearly see that I thought that I was worth saving, but I had nobody who could help me. So I needed to save myself. So I ran away from home because I had this strong belief that there has to be a better life somewhere. I didn't know where, but somewhere it has to be something better than this. So that was the driving force for me.
And of course, you are worth saving. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I'm not going to delve too much more into your background because I know that you cover your story in your upcoming book. So our audience will want to read that book to hear how you survived at such a young age to getting to where you are now. What I'd like to ask you about, though, is what inspired you to start the From Me to You global movement? Why is the goal of guiding 1 million people so important to you?
When I addressed my past in 2012 and 13, I was successful in my business, yet I didn't feel any fulfillment in my life. So I decided I need to go back in time and dive deeper into my past. And I came to a point where I couldn't identify myself with that young 8-year-old girl who was so courageous and brave and follow through with actions. I decided at least I would write her a letter, at least say thank you. Thank you for saving my life. And thank you for being courageous enough to take action. And in that process, when I put the pen to the paper, something happened within my body. I felt that my hurt and my pain didn't belong to me anymore. It belonged to the letter. It got me curious, and that was the starting point for me when I started to discover and study how writing is healing and what specific factors do we need in a healing letter addressing our past trauma. So it took me 8 years to study this and then finally create a 4-step method. And during this time, I have coaching clients around the globe. So I asked them, can I please test this method out to you? Their results, like over and beyond what we could expect. I could see that their lives really transformed personally and professionally. So I began to refer my clients as wisdom writers who shared their stories of strength and courage. And then I thought, well, this is kind of selfish to keep this profound method to my coaching clients. We need to go on a larger scale because there is a lot of people around the world struggling with pain and with grief and with past traumas. So word of mouth and a lot of networking, we reached over 20 countries and over 11,000 letters sending in to me. And I thought, well, this is something that people want to join because there is an opportunity to leave a legacy by sharing your story. We impart our life lessons and wisdom to others. That was the starting point of the global movement. I believe that the ripple effect, if I can help 1 million people, each one of them will probably help 5 or 10 people in their family or friends. So I think that is a great and excellent first goal to reach 1 million people around the globe.
That's a fantastic goal to have. And clearly, that's just the first goal. By the way you're talking, I can hear your goal is much bigger. You're hoping to inspire a lot more people than just 1 million, if we call it that, just 1 million. This concept of wisdom writing sounds absolutely powerful. Can you maybe explain to our audience how someone can start this practice and what benefits they might notice?
What we have seen, or what I have seen, I have coaching clients in over 2 decades. So there's thousands and thousands of people who I have met through my speaking and one-on-one coaching. So what I have seen is that if we don't heal from a past trauma, we need to be aware of what the cost is to continue carry on the specific wound trauma that we have. We need also to remind ourselves that our stories, they live in our heart, but the unhealed and often hidden trauma, they live in our actions. Meaning that if we have unhealed traumas, they totally affect our belief system, our values, how we are as a spouse, as a father, as a mother, as a leader, all our roles in our life. I have also seen my clients that they pass it on to the next generation. So we need to break the generational trauma and not be re-victimized. So I think it's really important to see if I choose not to deal with my past unhealed trauma, then what does it cost and how does that affect my life? And if I choose, yes, I want to do something about it, then the benefits are like tremendous because you will leave the pain and suffering behind. No guilt, no shame, no excuses, no victim mindset, and you will live your life from a place more of honesty and authenticity. And many wisdom writers have witnessed that this wisdom letter writing method brings peace to the heart. It's a feeling of freedom. So I think the starting point is, how do I want to live my life? Do I want to continue to be in this place of unhealed trauma, or am I willing to build my own bridge between my past to my present and my bigger future? That is the first starting point to ask yourself that question. What do you choose? Because it is a choice. It's a deliberate choice.
And as you say, there is a cost when you don't deal with and heal from these past traumas, and you've created a system to help people to make that bridge, to help them to start a place to make this healing happen. What advice would you have for someone, though, who is struggling to find their voice or share their story due to their past experiences?
I think they need to sit down and just think about what they internally experience is actually what happens externally. Meaning that, back again to your choice, how would you respond to, for example, do I want to live happily ever after or just happy now? A lot of people are living in the future and they're forgetting that I need to be happy now. If I'm going to be happy and living a fulfillment and meaningful life in 5 years, I need to take action now. My advice would be, there is a couple of questions they could just ask themselves. And that is, what do I want for myself and my kids or my family in the future? Because what you want, you need to go backwards and take action upon that answer, that response, that goal, and create more joy and happiness into our lives. because we know and studies have shown that happy people make other decisions and make better decisions. Happy people are better parents and better partners. To my coaching clients, before we start this process, there are 2 questions they're going to answer every evening. And that is fill in the blank of I believe and just fill in whatever comes to mind. And the other one is for tomorrow, I wish. Just those 2 sentences, and do that for 2 weeks. And your subconscious mind, if you are brutally honest with yourself, your subconscious mind will work for you. And after 2 weeks, you will see that there is a shift happening in your responses. And it's easier for me to help you guide and connect the dots. So that is absolutely my advice, to ask yourself those questions and also fill in those 2 sentences, at least for 2 weeks, and see what your response would be.
Yes, I think that guidance would help quite a lot. Just to have those 2 sentences, you have a starting point. It's not too much, and you've sort of got the start of the sentence that you have to finish in each of those cases. And as you say, in time, then the transformation happens. So you're not asking them to write a book, but just start with a small sentence.
Absolutely.
Let's change direction a little bit and talk about your work with South Carolina inmates. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and also what common threads you have found in their stories and how forgiveness plays a role in their journey toward healing?
This was a really interesting project. I'm really proud of the project and the outcome, and for all the inmates who so generously shared their stories and their pain and their trauma. So we had a group of 30 inmates in the first round, and then another group of 30. So I guided them through this 4-step wisdom letter writing method. What I have seen is that at the core, what really matters, we are all the same, no matter who we are. No matter where we are in life, or successful people or not, or in the middle, if we're rich or poor, or we are all humans, and we're seeking the same things. We're seeking happiness, belonging, purpose, fulfillment, meaningful life, and love. We have more commonalities than differences. And I think if those inmates are about to come out from prison and be a citizen in our communities, this is one way of equipping them to be better humans. If they can work through their trauma and they can identify their life lessons and transform those life lessons into piece of wisdom, and also working with the forgiveness, not just by the people they have harmed, but also forgiveness towards themselves, then we have the chance to create better humans, and they can become better citizens if they come out from prison. So I think this is just one way of equipping them with resources and tools and transform their mindset into reframing their experience, reframing to discover the wisdom from it, and transform their relationship to the wound. And by doing so, they also create greater resilience and strength and building their own bridge. So I think the forgiveness work is a huge part of not keep on blaming other people for who you have become and set yourself free. I think we need to remember that what leads our life are core values and our belief system. And both of them are highly affected by the life lessons we acknowledge. When this happens, when we can acknowledge the life lessons, then we become limitless of our ability to give to others. So it's really deliberate, the 4-step, in which order we are doing those steps in order to set you up for success. So forgiveness is actually the last step, forgiveness and love. So working with the inmates and see their transformational journey through those sessions with them and ending up with them reading their wisdom letters was a powerful, magical moment. And I'm so happy that we are collecting those letters in a special book. There will be a foundation to give back to their families and to their children, to send them to school, to university, in order for us to help break the generational trauma.
It sounds like an amazing project.
Thank you.
How many inmates have you worked with in this way?
There is 65 or 70 in total. Very heavy crimes, yes.
Incredible. Well done for doing that. It's amazing that you have taken on this role to not only pass along your wisdom and this wisdom writing to the general population, but that you've reached out to these inmates who clearly also have had traumas in their lives to try and as you say, to make that change, to break those generational gaps. Well done. Thank you for all that work that you are doing and that you have done with these inmates.
Thank you.
Now let's change direction again. I sort of mentioned it in the beginning. You've got a new book coming out, From Me to You, which focuses on healing emotional wounds. What can readers expect to find within its pages that sets it apart from other self-help books?
This book is brutally honest, I will say. The deep desire to find my truth, along with being honest and authentic with myself, was my driving force that brought me the strength to continue uncovering my past. And I think the readers will totally get into the story and feel that authentic place. And I believe and have seen that if I show up authentic, then I give space for others to do the same. The book will bring you hope that keeps us moving when we feel challenged by life. It will give you a kind of a window to your inner self and also inspiration to take action, because what they are reading in the book is actually the ultimate case study, meaning that everything I teach for the past decades and in my speaking and my coaching clients and everybody, I actually use those tools to transform my own life. My hope is that this book will be a moment of change. When you read that book, that will be a moment of change that you will remember later on in life, that after reading that book, I really took action to change my life in a positive and better direction.
The book sounds fantastic. I cannot wait for it to come out. And I'm sure, as you say, it will touch the lives of many people and help them on their journey to healing and making a change in their own lives. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Now let's get ready for some rapid fire fun as we dive into our game show segment. Are you ready for some quick fire questions, Sussi?
Yes, I am.
What's your favorite book of all time?
Last lecture.
If you could travel to any destination right now, where would it be?
The island of Mallorca.
What is your go-to self-care activity when you need a break?
I write in my journal.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I would open up all those the negative people, the really bad, wounded, traumatized people. I will try to open up to some light coming into their lives.
That sounds beautiful. Well, thank you for playing along. That was easy enough. Now we've come to our signature segment, your green pill moment. Could you share an inspiring or life-changing experience that you have gone through, your green pill moment?
I think I have two in my life. One is the one I shared before when I was 8 years old and I stood there in the hallway and I found this one-way airline ticket and the passport and I decided to run away from home. That was absolutely changing the direction of my life. The other one would be that I was a passenger in a really serious car accident. And I went 3.5 years physiotherapy and rehabilitation to come back. And I think the character building process of bouncing back from a deep valley that this car accident put me into, that was also life-changing moment of discovering that I'm stronger than I believed. I have more courage than I believed, and creating great, deep resilience in my life.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing your very personal experiences with us. And no doubt those moments have shaped you to where you are today. So we thank you so much for being here today. You've been an incredible guest. You've got an incredible story. I have no doubt that our listeners will be buzzing with inspiration after hearing your story and your insights. Before we bid you a farewell, Sussi, could you please share with our listeners where they can connect with you and where they can find you on social media?
The easiest way to connect is go to App Store and download the app From Me to You, or go to the website frommetoumovement.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. And again, thank you so much for being here today. I wish you all the very best and will for sure be following your journey as you continue to make waves in the world.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And to our amazing listeners, remember to subscribe. Please share a 5-star review. Stay tuned for more thrilling episodes and share your thoughts in the comments and keep spreading the inspiration far and wide. Until next time, stay curious and keep chasing your dreams.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.